"You're too stupid to run this winery," my stepfather, Victor, bellowed, firing me from the family business my father built. Little did he know I'd already siphoned its core assets, leaving him with nothing but a mountain of debt. It began with a single spreadsheet error, a $300,000 discrepancy in our quarterly reports. Most would dismiss it as a typo, but when your father taught you to scrutinize every cent before you could ride a bike, you notice. I'm Elena Martinez, and at 29, I was the operations director of Martinez Vineyards in Napa Valley, until Victor threw me out. Before we dive in, thank you for joining this journey of justice and heart. If these stories inspire you, hit subscribe, it's free and builds our community of truth seekers. Let's get started. It was midnight, and I sat in my father's old office, now mine, the scent of oak barrels lingering in the air. The vineyard's financials glowed on my screen, that $300,000 gap glaring like a warning. My father, Javier Martinez, built this winery from a single acre 35 years ago, turning it into Napa's pride. He died 6 years ago, a stroke at his desk, his life's work in his hands. Mom, Sophia, was shattered, so when she met Victor at a wine gala, we didn't question her quick remarriage. Victor's charm won her over, and within a year, he'd convinced the board to name him CEO. Fresh vision, he called it. I focused on the vines, trusting him. Big mistake. Last week, Victor stormed into my office, face red, clutching a report I'd flagged. "You're meddling, Elena," he roared. "This isn't your father's little farm anymore. You're done." He fired me in front of the staff, his words venomous, "You're too weak to lead." But I'd already found his trail, transfers to shell companies, fake suppliers, missing funds. With my sister, Clara, and our cellar manager, Diego, I'd secured the winery's patents, contracts, and reserves in a holding company Victor couldn't touch. As he ranted, I smiled, knowing his empire of lies was crumbling. Stick with me, this is just the beginning of a story about reclaiming what's ours. 6 years ago, I stood in the vineyard's tasting room, the air thick with grief, as we toasted my father's life. Javier Martinez was Napa's heart, his wines won awards, but his kindness won loyalty. He'd taught me everything, how to test soil, prune vines, and read balance sheets. "Numbers tell stories, Elena," he'd say, his calloused hands flipping through ledgers. "Trust them." When he died, the winery was our anchor, but Mom fell apart. She met Victor at a charity gala, his tailored suits and easy laugh a balm for her pain. Clara, my lawyer sister, warned me, "He's too smooth." But Mom was happy, so we let it go. Victor moved fast. Married in 6 months, he charmed the board into making him CEO by promising growth. "Your father's methods were quaint," he'd say, smiling. I ran operations, keeping our wines world-class, while Clara handled contracts. At first, Victor seemed competent, stock rose, investors clapped. But cracks appeared. Longtime workers were pushed out, replaced by Victor's hires. Suppliers changed overnight, their invoices vague. Clara noticed first, over coffee in the winery's cafe. "These contracts are murky, Elena." "The new suppliers?" "No history. It's like they're ghosts." I started watching Victor. His modernization meant flashy ads, not better wine. He'd mock Dad in meetings, "Javier's small-time thinking won't cut it." Mom, caught in his spell, defended him. "He's protecting our future," she'd say. But the winery felt wrong, less like family, more like a machine. One night, in Dad's office, I found a journal he'd kept, listing every competitor who'd tried to buy us out. One name stood out, Victor's old firm, linked to failed takeovers. My gut twisted. Had he targeted us before meeting Mom? The pieces were falling into place, and I wasn't about to let Dad's legacy slip away. Keep watching, this puzzle's about to get clearer. For months, I worked in the shadows, digging through financials after hours, the vineyard's quiet hum my only company. That $300,000 discrepancy led to more, $1.2 million funneled to shell companies with names like Vintage Ventures. Clara hacked into old servers, finding deleted contracts tied to Victor's allies. Diego, our seller manager since Dad's day, overheard Victor's calls about liquidating assets. He's bleeding us dry, Diego whispered, handing me a USB of recorded snippets. We were a team, Clara with legal savvy, Diego with loyalty, and me with Dad's instinct for numbers. Victor's jabs grew sharper. Your father's ways are dead, Elena, he'd sneer in board meetings, his eyes daring me to challenge him. I stayed calm, channeling Dad's advice, silence is strategy. But the winery was changing, vines neglected, workers tense, our signature Cabernet rushed to market half-ready. Clara found a pattern in Victor's past, pulling records at her law firm. He's done this before, she said, spreading articles across her apartment floor. A vineyard in Sonoma, a distillery in Kentucky, family businesses he'd married into, gutted, and sold, leaving the families broke. One night, Mom called, her voice shaky. Victor says you're causing trouble, Elena. Can't you trust him? I wanted to scream about the missing millions, but Victor's voice echoed in the background. It'll be okay, Mom, I said, my heart heavy. Just give me time. After hanging up, I texted Clara, we need the contingency plan now. She replied, Diego's got HR files. It's worse than we thought. Those files showed Victor bribing employees to spy on us, threatening others to quit. The winery wasn't just at risk, it was a house of cards. I met Diego at dawn in the barrel room, the air rich with fermenting grapes. Victor's planning a sale, he said, showing me an email draft to a corporate buyer. He thinks you're clueless. I grinned, pulling up our secure server. He's the clueless one. Months ago, we'd transferred the winery's patents, land deeds, and client contracts to a holding company I controlled, approved quietly by loyal board members. Victor was running a shell, thinking he held the keys. The trap was set, but the confrontation was coming fast. Don't look away, this is where it gets intense. The showdown came on a sunny Friday, the winery buzzing with harvest season. Victor burst into my meeting with our top distributor, his face purple. What lies are you spreading, Elena? He roared, slamming a report I'd sent to the board. You're sabotaging me. I stayed seated, voice calm. I'm reviewing finances, Victor. There's $1.2 million missing. The distributor, Mrs. Lopez, a friend of Dad's, raised an eyebrow. That's serious, Victor. Care to explain? His eyes darted, but he doubled down. She's incompetent, just like her father. This winery needs real leadership. He turned to the staff, gathered in the tasting room. Elena's fired, effective now. She's too weak to run this. Workers gasped, some tearing up, many had known me since I was a child. Victor's words echoed, you're too stupid to lead. I stood, meeting his gaze. You're right, Victor. I'm not leading this winery. I paused, letting his smirk falter. But neither are you. His confusion was palpable as I walked out, Diego and Clara at my side. Check your email, I called. The board's calling an emergency meeting. That night, Mom met me at the vineyard's old oak tree, where Dad proposed to her. Victor says you're jealous, she said, eyes red. I handed her a USB. Look at this, Mom. Victor's not who you think. She hesitated, then nodded. I'll check it. Clara texted, Mom's digging through Dad's files. She found something big. Diego confirmed the holding company was secure, Victor couldn't touch our assets. The board, loyal to Dad, was ready. Victor thought he'd won, but he'd just stepped into our trap. The winery's heart was beating, and we were its pulse. Stay tuned, the reckoning's next. The board meeting was set for 8 a.m. Monday. I arrived at dawn, walking the vineyard's rows, the scent of grapes grounding me. This was Dad's land, and today, I'd fight for it. The boardroom filled fast, loyal members like Mrs. Lopez, wary of Victor's vision. He strode in late, suit pristine, smile smug. Let's address Elena's drama, he began, but Mrs. Lopez cut him off. We have evidence to review. Her assistant passed out folders, Clara's financial breakdowns, Diego's recordings, my transaction logs. Victor's laugh was hollow. This is a witch hunt. Elena's bitter. Then Mom entered, carrying Dad's old briefcase. These are Javier's notes, she said, voice steady. He tracked Victor's takeovers years ago. She laid out documents, Victor's history of gutting businesses, linked to the shells draining our winery. His face paled as Clara presented bank records, $1.2 million funneled to his accounts. Diego played a recording, Victor boasting about selling the stump. The board gasped. I stood. The winery's assets, patents, contracts, land, are safe in a holding company, approved 3 months ago. You've been running a shell, Victor. His eyes widened. You can't, we did, Mrs. Lopez said. The vote to remove you is unanimous. Security escorted him out as he sputtered, already calling his lawyer. Mom removed her ring, placing it on the table. The winery was ours again, but the fight wasn't over. Keep watching, it's about to get bigger. Victor's downfall snowballed. He tried hiding assets, but Clara's team flagged every move, feeding data to the SEC. A week later, news broke, Napa CEO linked to multi-state fraud. Victor's network, lawyers, accountants, fake companies, collapsed under federal scrutiny. His perp walk aired live, his smug smile gone, handcuffs glinting. Diego cheered in the barrel room, workers raising glasses of our best Cabernet. For Javier, they toasted, the winery alive again. Dad's journal revealed more, a network of Victor's victims, from a Sonoma orchard to a Texas brewery, all gutted by his schemes. I called them, starting with Maria, a Sonoma grower who'd lost everything. Your father warned me, she said, voice breaking. I didn't listen. We formed a coalition, using our holding company to fund lawsuits, restoring businesses Victor had destroyed. The Sonoma orchard reopened, its first harvest dedicated to Dad. Clara grinned, signing legal papers. This is justice. Mom joined the fight, starting a foundation for fraud victims, her strength reborn. Victor's lawsuits against us fizzled, our evidence was ironclad. The winery's future was secure, but the real victory was bigger, a legacy of rebuilding, not just for us, but for every family Victor betrayed. The vines were thriving, and so were we. Hang on, the story's not over yet. A year later, Martinez Vineyards bloomed anew. The tasting room buzzed with locals, our wines winning awards again. Workers, rehired, tended vines with pride, Diego leading the charge. Clara ran legal, ensuring no one like Victor could strike again. Mom's foundation grew, helping families reclaim their legacies. The vineyard's oak tree bore a plaque, for Javier, our heart. I walked the rows daily, feeling Dad's presence in every grape. Victor faced trial, his plea deal rejected, the feds wanted him as an example. Letters poured in from victims, thanking us for their second chances. Maria's orchard sent a crate of apples, a note reading, Javier would be proud. I placed it by Dad's photo in my office, his quiet smile watching over me. The winery wasn't just a business, it was a promise kept, a family reborn. We'd fought, and we'd won, not just for us, but for everyone Victor tried to break. I thought winning meant saving the winery, but it was about saving Dad's heart, his belief in honesty, family, and justice. Victor thought he could steal our legacy, but we built one stronger, not just for us, but for every family he hurt. What's your fight? The legacy you're protecting, the truth you're scared to face? Share it in the comments, let's inspire each other to stand tall. Hit subscribe for more stories of courage and triumph, it's free, and together, we'll keep the vines of justice growing. Don't wait for permission to fight for what's right, start now, and let's honor the legacies that matter.